What's happening, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Montana. You heard me right, we are in Montana, and I'm super excited because I've always dreamt about coming here. I used to go to Banff quite often and always be like, oh, I wonder what the Rockies are like in the United States. And we're right now amongst them, and it's beautiful. The landscape is surreal. We've had a great time so far, but I'm really looking forward to actually testing out some of Sony's camera gear. This is why I'm here actually. Myself and a whole bunch of other YouTube creators have been invited to Sony Camera Camp, an opportunity to look at their technology, their new innovation, and really test out their camera equipment. Now, this is an opportunity for me not only to test it out, but to see whether or not their camera is the right fit for me. So let's go into the lodge and check out some of that gear. Let's get it! Listen, I need a camera and I need kind of some input from you.
Sure.
So I'm a photographer and I do videos on YouTube.
Sure.
Of course I do commercial videos, but usually I'm using cinema cameras for that. What's a good camera that you recommend that kind of is great for stills and great for capturing content for YouTube channels?
The A7 Mark III is going to be a little bit more Swiss Army knife. That does everything pretty well. It's a 24 megapixel full frame camera. Excels at 4K full frame video.
Okay.
You have all your log modes, all your manual controls that you would want for video.
And this is the newest one, which has 61 megapixels.
That's right. So it's all about resolution. It's the R Mark IV, and some refinement on some of the controls have been refined ever so slightly. But both are great cameras. Both have very similar user interfaces.
Yeah, I think I'll try the A7R IV.
Okay, A7R Mark IV. You got a mic, some glass. You're probably gonna want like
give me all the glass you can give me.
How about a 16 to 35 2.8
That'd
G
be great.
Master?
Yeah.
And a 24 to 70
and a prime if you have
2.8 G Master.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Okay.
We'll start off with this.
All right. We'll get you all set up.
Awesome, man. One thing got me thinking was, well, I mean, I'm in Montana, so I got to do what people in Montana would do. And I feel like I don't feel like I fit in quite much right now without the right attire. Maybe not the pants or anything like that, but let's go see what we can find. Alright guys, now that we have our camera and I got my nice cowboy hat, actually just stopped raining just a few seconds ago. We were waiting to film this segment. Now Todd helped me out in choosing the A7R IV as my camera to test out while I'm here for the next few days. And I'm really happy with this decision because a lot of the work I produce is mainly photography oriented. If it has to do with video, it's more me directing the video, so I'm not actually shooting it myself, unless it's a YouTube video, of course. But that being said, this camera has really been a monument in the industry. It has 61 megapixels, so it came out with a big boom. It said, hey listen, we're gonna come out with 61 megapixels and we're gonna switch and we're gonna make mirrorless cameras the top cameras you can buy as a photographer. And I think that is a big thing to be able to take on, and I want to definitely utilize it to its capacity and check out what that means. What are 61 megapixels in an image? How can I utilize that? How can I work with it on the commercial level? Are my clients going to be happy with that type of content? I think they will. And so experimental wise, we're going to definitely dive deep into that. Other things off the top of my head, it's so comfortable. It's easy, it's lightweight. I mean, I could probably put like 5 of these cameras in my bag right now and it'd be the same weight as my normal camera bag. And also, I think it's very important to note that it's weather sealed, so we can get out right now in Montana, really dive deep into things, get our hands dirty, be in a rainfall, which has just rained on the camera and it seems to be working fine. But there's a lot of things here that I'm really enjoying and I'm seeing and I think that are very practical. But the big question, is this camera worth switching over for? My 1DX has served me as a camera for a very long time and I'm very happy with it. But moving forward, I do want to exercise and really experiment in the mirrorless world of cameras. And this might be the best option, but we won't know until we find out. So let's get out there and explore Montana. Bye bye. As you guys noticed from the footage earlier on, we saw a lot of elk on the way here. And right now we just got to some lookout point. And you can see Flathead Lake. It's amazing view up here. Now with the camera, I have the SONY A7R IV because I really wanted to get some close-up shots of the elk. I'll show you guys some here so you can see them. I noticed how easy it is actually to focus on this camera when looking through the viewfinder, because that was one of the biggest things that I was concerned about. Is I come from a DSLR where the viewfinder is actually just like what I'm seeing versus a digitized viewfinder, but having it in manual mode allows me to really focus, and it does a quick like zoom focus, I'd say, and you can really refine your image, make sure that everything's sharp, and then take it. It also has this interesting feature where it does an animal eye focus, where it basically tracks the eyes of an animal. So I was trying to use that as well. Aside from that, I've been really enjoying it with the SONY A7R. It's so lightweight, it's kind of insane. Like I sometimes put it right here on my belt, just like this, and I walk around, and that's about it. Alright guys, so we are right now at the DJI kind of booth / tutorial area. You guys are all right behind us teaching everyone how to use their gimbals, Ronins, and they've also gifted us with the opportunity to use their Mavic Pro, because I needed a drone and I forgot to bring my drone with me. They have graciously allowed us to use theirs. So the idea is to get some footage, include it in the intro so that you guys are like, whoa, this place is rad. Because it is actually rad, and we haven't been able to really show how extensive it is, and now we can because of the drone. Also, in terms of the camera, I've been really enjoying this. One thing I have to say though, I compared it to the Mark III. So right now I'm shooting on the A7R IV, but I compared it to the Mark III. I was taking both cameras out, trying to shoot. Because of the high pixel count, I noticed that it is a little bit slower than the Mark III. And to me, the speed of the camera in which I can start it, turn it on, take photos, quickly view them, is a very important process, because a lot of the content I shoot is very quick pace. Whether or not it's for Formula One, it's for Mercedes, it's for an airline company, or if I'm traveling, it's always fast-paced content, and I have to be ready and be able to capture it in a given moment. Now, because of that, I also think that having the extra pixels, of course, is very beneficial. A lot of the photos I was editing last night, I noticed I can zoom in really tight and really crop in, and it would still contain a lot of information, and the photo still looked like it was full. It didn't look like it was cropped, which is very nice to be able to work with, especially if you want to do prints, if you're trying to adjust images for your wallpapers, for your website, whatever it may be, if a client wants to utilize the content. Other things I've noticed is that the camera is extremely friendly and easy to access and use. All the buttons are very well integrated. Like I said before, I'm new to Sony, so the adjustments of all the buttons and options for me was something that I had to kind of challenge myself to learn quickly, and having this option right here has been a lifesaver. A lot of the shots that I've been shooting low in terms of video or photos, this has been so handy. I'm not like on the floor crawling, breaking my knees, breaking my back to get the photo. Obviously this isn't relatively new technology, but for me it is, because I've been shooting on a 1DX for a very long time, where this can't really adjust. Another thing I really enjoy about the camera, actually, Sony's new shotgun mic. This microphone is actually super easy to install and to utilize, and the quality of it is amazing. We've been using it a lot to capture sounds and obviously my voice when I'm talking, but it's not invasive, it's not massive. I currently have a Rode mic and it comes out to like probably here. Honestly, overall, I'm very impressed with the camera. I've enjoyed using it. I may continue enjoying it. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my synopsis on whether or not this is worth the switch, or maybe I need to backtrack a little bit. Alright guys, I want to share some of my last remarks regarding my experience here with Sony at the Sony camera camp in Montana, and especially their camera, their newest A7R IV. I think that the camera itself is a solid piece of technology. It has served the purpose of everything that I wanted to do in terms of creating content as a photographer and in terms of creating content as a videographer. I really enjoyed the stills. I think that there's a level of detail there with the 61 megapixels that is definitely amazing and incredible to utilize. And in terms of video, I would love to see, 4K 120, but I think I could live without it at the moment, considering how well compact the camera is and in terms of other features that it has that I think are very practical. One of the best features actually I noticed is that I've always had this issue with glare and shooting videos on my 1DX, but you can look through the viewfinder on the Sony camera, and in doing so you can see the actual exposure levels because it's a digital, it's a mirrorless camera, so you can actually see your exposures and set them appropriately. Other things I really enjoyed, like I mentioned before, the weight is amazing. We went hiking with the camera, we went sailing. It's easy to maneuver with, it's very compact and easy to access. The components and all the ports and all the buttons are easily accessible. I love the customizable buttons as well and how easy it is to kind of go through them. I think one thing that I would love to see as an improvement maybe in their next camera is that rather than the screen just flipping like this, it might be able to flip out. I think that'd be very useful for vlogging purposes, but then again, it's still lightweight, so for vloggers it's great. Another thing that I really enjoyed about the camera is that you can use a USB-C port and directly connect it to your camera and your laptop, so you can get your images that way rather than having to take out the memory card, put it into another slot, and then connect 8 different ports. That is very useful and definitely helpful for me because I'm always on the go and always on the run, and I need sometimes the content on my laptop right away without having to pull out a million other wires. The lens options that Sony has provided us with are incredible. Tried the 600mm all the way down to a 10mm. So I really got a solid opportunity to test out the lenses that they have, and each of them is great. The G Master lenses are really solid lenses. They're built really well and I like the feel. And especially the prime ones, they have an aperture ring, which is very useful, so you can always adjust the aperture right on the lens rather than having to use the other options and buttons. My final takeaway on this experience is that I'm actually ready to make a move from my DSLR camera. The 1DX is amazing. I think I'll still continue utilizing it for certain things, but as a day-to-day camera, I definitely want to make a move, and I'm going to go in the route of Sony at the moment. Not too sure if it's going to be the A7R IV or the Mark III or potentially the Mark IV when it comes out, but I do and I have enjoyed Sony's technology a lot, and I think that they are doing a great job in innovating, and they also have other products in their lineup that are very useful for someone like me to utilize. This experience here has been amazing. Montana is beautiful. I highly recommend you guys check it out. And a big shout out to Sony for bringing out all these creators. I met a lot of really talented people along the way, all with various different YouTube channels that are talking about, some are reviews, some are like travel vloggers, but I think having everyone in the same roof has been a really fun experience. And as always, if you guys have any questions regarding the technology that we've been playing with, the gear, or if you have suggestions for me in terms of Sony products or any other product, leave them in the comments below. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys all next week. Peace!